Sketches of old, sketches of new. What I have finished include only a select few. Zines I have made, zines that are a few, only one to be precise, and now I will make two, and so will you. Brother, I'm on my last set. I need to do 10 more push-ups, and I'm gonna dare you to do 10 with me. It's 5:50. Stay hard, man. Stay hard. I'm gonna do 10 now in 3, 2, and 1. I finished my last set, and I think you finished your first one ever, actually. Yeah, let's get in. Hello, brother. This is like take 3 of this shot, yet I'm still feeling kind of energetic, so I'm gonna try my best. How were those 10 push-ups that you did? I thought, why not start off a big challenge with something small so that you'll gain some motivation to pursue it. Today, we're going to be trying to make ourselves a zine in 5 hours straight. And this video is going to be 5 hours long. I'm not going to be sugarcoating jack shit here. So we're going to have to sacrifice for quality. Like these clips are like 4K. I'm pretty sure nobody likes 1080p, but you're gonna have to sacrifice on something, man. And that's mostly it. I'm gonna teach you everything from the story structuring basics to whatever the hell I'm gonna be doing for these 5 hours next. And let's get right in. Hello buddy, this clip is still going to be in 4K because I'm going to be teaching you something before we enter the 5 hours. And that, my friend, is going to be story structure, which is what I ought to teach you. I've spent a lot of time collecting notes from a lot of channels and a lot of people who have made stories, and I have read a book called How to Be a Writer by Ruskin Bond, and these are what I got out of them. These are essentially insights as to what you could use for your story. So this is the Dan Harmon story cycle, and this is like the most widely usable version of the story cycle, if you think about it. A story usually revolves around the transfer from order to chaos and chaos to order and so on and so forth. That is the basic way to think about it. But if you really want to go more in depth, there is a protagonist who has kind of a need, and he needs to go towards that. And he needs to face some struggles, and he finds something. He takes the offer that he gets, and he either likes it or he either hates it. And if he hates it, he goes around and tries to change it. He either changes it or doesn't change it, and he returns and he has a new need and he needs a new change. So this doesn't have to be a rigid way as to what you could think about in a story, but this is like the most widely spread used version of a story cycle. I'm not going to be exactly using this one. I'm just going to be keeping this in my intuition. So this is Dan Harmon's story cycle, and there is a lot of other ways to make stories too. I'm going to show you those. The second way is called the hero's journey. This is essentially a story that is centered around one main character. And as for our zine, we don't have that much time. We have only somewhat in the order of, say, 5 hours. We're not going to be able to do all of this. If you're like, bro, 5 hours is a lot of time. Yes, brother, 5 hours is a lot of time. But we cannot do all of this. I have tried it, and it went for 26 hours straight. Okay? We're gonna have a simple structure instead. Yep, here we have that pen. It's hard because I'm right-handed and the microphone is on my right side, but if I keep it on my left side, you guys are gonna be able to see the microphone, and that's gonna be annoying as hell. So I've decided not to torture you with that fate, and instead I'm taking the L for the group. So there is a lot you have to know in a story. I think you guys have seen that ChatGPT video that Casey Neistat has made. Otherwise, I'll link it up in the cards. Go watch that and get back here, because there is something about it that I'm going to be talking here. You see, ChatGPT it just recorded a set of events. Yes, a story is a set of events. Events. But if your audience doesn't know what they're in for the ride, who knows that? Well, nobody. So first you're gonna have to set up the story. And second of all, you're going to have to set up some conflict. And third of all, you're going to have to resolve that conflict. This resolution part may be in whatever manner your heart may desire, because it's not essentially really hard to resolve an issue actually. So if there's a conflict and you want to resolve it, you can even show the conflict existing after it being resolved, and you can do it all over again. But I suggest sticking through this three structure just for our signs, because our signs ought to be small and we don't want to waste a lot of time today, right? We only have 5 hours. That's a very weird thing to say, but we only have 5 hours. So that's setup, conflict, and resolution. Let me get into further depth about how you should start getting the ideas onto paper. So I'm going to show you the thing that I did for my first graphic novel. I learned a lot from it, but no, this is not here. Yeah, this is here, but I have to find those notes. It's like way behind. So we're going to be talking about the Idea Fest. I looked at a lot of videos, including those made by Jake Parker, the guy who makes that Skull Rider series, I think. And what he talks of is something I find to be very interesting, because this also takes your own creativity into account, and it gives your story a very unique spin. Just like start writing random shit on the paper, and as time progresses, you're gonna get somewhere. And that somewhere could be a story, or it could be an incoherent piece of junk. But mostly it's going to be a story if you connect the dots in the way that I said to you to connect earlier. Told you to connect earlier. So, in our case, the last one was hunted by radio birds. I wanted to make it a little bit easier on me, so I changed the radio birds for eagles. I know radio birds sound really cool, and I really wanted to make them. This was going to be a story where like parrots tame the wolves and try to hunt down the radio birds that hunted them. But I thought, why should I get so cheesy for my first comic? And instead, I went on a simpler approach. And as a result, I was able to finish that comic. Okay, I think you've got an idea of an Idea Fest, and now I'm gonna change into the awful 1080p mode, before which I'm going to teach you how to do some research. Wait, I bought a new book yesterday too, and yeah, here's that. The Art of Urban Sketching. We're gonna be taking this and applying as references, and I also have a very big dictionary that I don't think I can lift right now. Shit, where has it gone? I have no idea how this got here, but this is doing something on a musty old sofa. Let's take it back. Whoosh. Yeah, now we're going to be needing this boy. Okay, brother. Right now, I'm going to be getting into the nitty gritty of what we have to do. I kind of like already completed my idea fest, but I feel like I should write it down on paper. I have it in my mind, but they always say it's better to write it down than just keep it in your mind. I will get some better ideas if I do this. Yeah, so the reason I got this visual dictionary out is not for some reason where I'm going to be like copying everything from here. It's essentially like a reference book. And I find the Art of Urban Sketching, that book I showed you earlier, right? That to be useful when we're building landscapes and other things. Because, well, that's literally urban sketching, I think. Okay, I'm going to take a blank sheet of paper. These are like my analyses, you don't need to see them. And let me just grab a pen of mine. Shit. Yes, I got it. So we're going to have our first idea fest. I think this is your first idea fest. This is like my third. I haven't fulfilled the first two. Oh no, wait. I'm gonna set the focus proper. Yeah, and I changed the angle to a more suitable one too. So here's the idea fest, boys. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. First, you're going to have to take out your notebook and write with me. I told you, right, this is a 5-hour long video, and you're going to have to make your first sign with me too. So we're not going to be super ambitious. I want to make a very easy thing. I think you've heard of the story where the eagle had its wings chopped off and it couldn't fly. No, not the one. It's not like that. It's like you put a psychological barrier on yourself, and that's what limits you. There's a story that kind of hopes to narrate that. And I want to have that feeling of hope in my story too. Yet I want to make it a little bit more mine, you say. You see. So the story I want involves an albatross. I don't even know if I'm spelling it correctly, but I've seen one in like the when I was going to the beach, and this gave me like this flash idea, like presto. I was like that, and this albatross. The people on the beach like to eat this. People on beach like to eat it. Oh God, we're off to a great start. Alcatraz, people on the beach like to eat it. They clip its wings. Clip its wings. Wings. A 16-year-old finds it. Year-old girl finds it. If you're like, why is it a girl? Why is it not a boy, bro? Well, I don't know, man. I've written too many stories with the male being the main lead, and I thought, why not change it up a little bit? And besides, caring and love, these are mostly feminine traits. So I think a woman would be suitable in this situation. A 16-year-old girl finds a wounded albatross. Wounded albatross. Albatross. And builds mechanical wings for it. Mechanical wings for it. Wings for it. For it. And in the end, after she builds the mechanical wings for it, no, let's make the story more wholesome. Why would we want the people on the beach to be eating albatross? I don't know. Do you want to leave it this way? I'm gonna have to show them eating albatross sometime, so that'll be a huge problem. I don't want the story to be that grueling. People on the beach like to eat albatross. They clip its wings and they raise them like chicken. They raise them like chicken. stem like chicken. It's crazy how we chose a bird like the chicken because it had a high respawn rate, and then we turned its own respawn rate against it, while we have other birds that are freely flying through the sky, and we don't even think about touching them because we might get bird flu from them. Okay, and that 16-year-old girl, she builds mechanical wings for the albatross, and the bird struggles and flies away. Struggles and flies away. Struggles and flies away. Wait. So I'm going to give you guys a few suggestions while you're making comic books. I've went through a lot of stuff, I've taken my notes, and I've looked at a lot of filmmaking videos, a lot of Japanese ideology for some reason. Writer's notes, yes, you can see here. This was one that I took to. We also need to add some character flaws, but this is just a short story. We're going to be exploring only a facet of the character. It would be a little bit useful if we had the rooms be messy or something like that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me just take out this art of urban sketching and draw out the backgrounds and then start sketching in the characters. If you're perplexed as to why I'm doing backgrounds first before the characters, there is a very specific reason behind that, which I will reveal to you right now. Oh wait, we're gonna have to switch to 1080p. Shit, camera time, boys, let's go. And I want a place that is in vicinity to a beach, if you really think about it. We've switched to 1080p, and I would like you to pardon me because I kind of forgot to put my phone on charge for the whole day yesterday, so we're going to have it charged while I go for my breakfast. Now let's search for a beach reference. Okay, is this a beach? This is a beach, or is this a lake or something? Wait, the stand is kind of shaky, but we'll adjust, it's fine. Boxing Day picnic and the Q station. We're going to have to search for a few references while we draw our scenes. Trust me, man, I know how it goes without references. That's why I'm actively searching for a few. This doesn't have to be very complex. Use very simple shapes in your constructions. Otherwise, it's going to be a headache when you have to construct the rotations and so on. I found a beach reference. This is one page, page number 115. So I'm just going to jot that down on my sketchbook. Oh, that's a pretty good reference. We're going to search for more. Oh, this is 7 o'clock by the way, and the clock has started ticking literally right now. So I have till 12 o'clock to complete this if we do not count my breakfast. I don't want this to be an unhealthy challenge like something ZHC would do. This is going to be somewhat of a healthy challenge. So go and take your breakfast break if you have to, man. It's like inhumane if I stop you from doing that. Why do we kept that? We found literally one beach reference, guys. I'm gonna need more than that. I found another, but this looks way too sketchy. Okay, I do think I have a few pictures of the beach loaded up on my tablet. We're going to have to work with that, I think. I should stop saying I think. It makes me sound less confident than I actually am. Okay, this is a good one. Kind of. This helps me capture the vibe of what's going on there. So we're going to write down the page which we found this. So it's 244. I'm pretty sure in the index they have all the locations and what all they've drawn in every single place. Yes, they do. Screw this. Wait. I suggest that you get yourself a reference book too. If your comic book is about, if your zine actually is about some subject that is very foreign to us, it's best that we have a reference book. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to search page number 256, I think. One is section 1, section 1 is art, section 2 is see the world around one at a time. 256. I'm pretty sure making a zine is a very hard thing, and if you've decided to do it, you might as well, you know, learn to write stories. If you weren't able to make this at this point of time, I totally understand. I've had many times where I didn't have the motivation to do this shit. 256. Let's get that. Oh, this is like a beach house. I kind of need this. 233. This is like a house in Sumatra. I don't even know what this place called Sumatra is, but we're gonna have it anyway because it looks like a beach house. Hong Kong. If you think drawing from references is like kind of illegal, I thought the same thing at first too. And then I realized how much better my pictures look with reference than without reference. And well, I was the type of guy who did life drawing to get like experience in how different things looked. So I can like stop maniacally drawing wherever I go nowadays. Okay. These things, they have the trees here, so I'm gonna just that 53. I know how palm trees work, bro. I literally live in a coastal city. What do you think? Do you think I'm stupid? No, you don't. Let's go and check out some place where these drawings are very cool, but I shouldn't get immersed in them because I know what I'm here for. Although I cannot find jack shit here. Okay, there's a boat here, and I better take this to page number 271. Just gonna write that here, and 273 seems good. Harbors and waterfronts. Okay, this is not a place where we care to check. Harbors and waterfronts. Bro, they literally said waterfronts and they don't have pictures of beaches. How cruel is that? Page number 270 is what we should be searching for. 270, 272, 271, 244, 252, 233, and 15. These are my reference pages, and if you guys think that you also need more reference than this, then be sure to check out some other book that you're going to get. Otherwise, just check online, man. Pinterest still has a lot of good stuff. I'm not recommending Pinterest mainly for the sole purpose that you might get lost in there too. That happens quite a lot for me. Oh god, I need to find more. Yeah, this also looks like it's quite an impression of a beach somehow. So I'm going to take to page number 29 in my mind, and I'm going to say that this is fine and nice, but let us go back to search the place a little bit more. If you're like, bro, why did you get this urban sketching sketchbook? Isn't it obvious? It's because I want to try it. And yeah, those were essentially my reference pictures. And the time is 7:05. I'll go and have my breakfast and be back. And we're going to start the drawing process actually then. And then we have 5 hours of time to complete. No, I should take into account the story writing time too, right? So that'll be something like 20 minutes over right now. No. It took me 7 minutes to write that, if I remember precisely by the time codes. 7 minutes. I also explain stuff to you. So we're gonna leave it at 5 minutes. And once I'm back, we will start. In like 3, 2, 1, I'm going out for breakfast. Now here we are. Let us draw from the references that we collected. I don't want you to be stressing over any shapes, since we're only going to be focusing mainly on iconography. If you're like, what the hell is iconography, man? Well, trust me, I didn't know at first too. So I'm gonna teach you what iconography is. Let me like lower the ISO so that you can see stuff clearly first. Yeah, is everything visible? I really hope it is. Okay, now I'm going to start teaching you. So what is iconography? Well, it's very simple actually. It's instead of stressing over the minute details of the nose, or like the minute details of the eye with like the eyelashes and crunch it like that, you use different focal points and you kind of add detail accordingly. Like things on the back of your image are gonna look really wobbly and tiny, while the person on the front, he gets to have a simple yet iconic design. What does that mean? What is iconic design? Well, it's essentially this. If you have some two people, you need to be able to tell them apart even if you look at them from a distance. Like you can see that this guy's stature is a little more tighter than this guy's stature. You may be able to identify them this way, but this is not a good example of iconography. It's like if their shill-out is so unique, then you can draw them with whatever level of detail you'd like, and people will still go ahead and look at them. This is also applicable for objects, which is exactly what I ought to do right now. Let me get to the task at hand. I'm just gonna turn on the fan and be back, because I don't think I can sit and sweat for 5 hours straight. Is it that audible or not? Maybe I'll use the noise reduction filter in DaVinci later, but that's when we get to DaVinci. This is not even the part where we get there. So we're planning out a beach scene right now, and everything ought to be in a beach. So we're going to draw a beach. As I told you earlier, no stressing on the detail, okay? I know how this works because I've made a graphic novel first. Like that's just 17 pages. It's like a zine though. Anything very special about these four, but well, nothing actually. So a simple thing to remember is that the earth is curved. As a result, stuff usually looks like it's behind the horizon line, when in reality it should be available till the end. It's like how this guy is standing here, he'll be able to see this far, and the guy standing here will not be able to see this guy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yes, I think you do. So we will continue yet again. I will stop using so now. This is where we will have the house. This is one point perspective, nothing too complicated. Don't complicate everything right now, because you'll end up in a very bad situation later if you do so. So for the house, we ought to have an example, don't we? And where is that? Well, that's not here essentially, but I remember the page number. We'll get there when we need to. But before that, we're gonna draw the beach shack, a place where people can rest in the beach, essentially. And there is like this stall outside that seems to be a little bit of visual interest for the audience. Okay, now that is one sketch done of this house. And as I said earlier, the people in this island, they eat albatross curry. We're going to have to accommodate for that sometime. And right now, we're going to have to draw palm trees in a little bit. But before that, let me add the bushes in first. So first of all, when you're drawing forests, I'm going to give you something really useful to use here. When you're drawing forest, remember only the shape of the canopy. I've seen this as a trick being used in Studio Ghibli films, and I'm pretty sure it's going to save us a lot of time when we're trying to think about foliage and we can't remember the exact shape of that one tree. Able to see it. Like, this is what we ought to draw right now, and let me draw the palm trees. Like I told you, right? Only the shape of the canopy is to be remembered. Like, this sloppy curve is the shape of the canopy here, and that is what I will remember. Trust me, pal, trying to remember way more than the canopy doesn't end well. So, better listen right now. I'm stressing on this point mainly because I did this mistake. This is just one scene in the whole grand sum of things. We'll have a few clouds here and a few other clouds here and the sun popping up at the edge for visual interest. And I quote, visual interest only. There is no other purpose of that thing here. So if we have a few ports, or if we have a port, it's best to have a ship stationed there, right? So this is not going to be like an extreme boat that I'm going to make. I'm just gonna make something very simple and fairly easy to draw. Can you see my sketchbook? Yes, I think you can. Let me like bring it again to the edge so that you can see in much further depth the references. Like, if you have your own references, you might as well start bringing them in and drawing from them. I told you earlier, right, when we were collecting references, to collect your own references too. If you have done that, that's quite great. But if you haven't, pause the video, go back, and collect your very own references and be back. I'm not here to make you copy my thing, because that would be kind of stupid in a way, actually. If I did that, that would be stupid. Okay, these boats seem to look quite sophisticated. So I would prefer that we draw these boats. What did you expect me to do? Draw the other boats? Ha ha ha, no. We're gonna draw a boat with quite a bit of sophistication. And I want a setting like that of Italy. Maybe I'm wanting too many things here. First, we'll finish this. This is like the easiest thing we can do right now. Like, we'll just finish drawing the boat over here. Because, although this isn't significant, it's gonna be like a background prop, right? So I need to simplify it down even further than what this artist has already done. There's always like this lifeboat at the front of the boat. So that's kind of an iconic feature if you think about it. Okay, this has sort of like a roof on top. I'm trying to combine the different aspects of these boats to make one that is quite unique. I said quite unique, not very unique. Remember that. Oh god, this is quite easy actually. There are a few seats here, and From my knowledge of constructing boats with Legos, I'm pretty sure this will work if put on the sea. And yep, man, that is mostly the boat we came here to draw. It is quite simple, but quite simple is the thing that we are asking for. Let me add a hand controlled motor that fuels a propeller at the back. Yep, that is it. I'm not going to get into adding more details and making things look very sophisticated. Otherwise, it's going to make the drawing a lot harder than it has to be. And how's your progress going? I've finished 2 images, and over by this house, I didn't finish saying that. Okay, right now I'm not gonna sketch too much. I'm not gonna dilly-dally too much, if that's the meaning you are looking for. I'm just going to go around designing my characters. Remember what we talked about iconography. If your character is a unique shillout, you can simplify them at any and all distances and nobody bats an eye. But if you mess this part up, people will. So just don't think about designing cool 3D shapes. Think about designing cool 2D shapes. Think about designing cool 3D shapes. And for shape language, if you want my advice, I am not really the type of guy who gives advices, but here goes. Learn from animals, that's all. Because that's where our sense of primal fear and pattern recognition came from, and that's where the sharp features in these things, those fears, came from. So if you are able to imitate animals with your characters, then you're set for success, I think. Because this is mostly a theory, and I don't know if our pattern recognition came from that. But that's just a theory. Game theory. MatPat's gone. Oh shit. I said I want a main character to be living in that family, right? They only had 1 bedroom and 1 hall. And looking at their economic status from their house's standpoint, I think she ought to be a little poor in terms of the economic standings. So if you don't know how to construct the human body, what I'm going to suggest is that all you need is a head, a torso, 2 legs, and 2 hands. Just remember that the 2 hands, they ought to come close to the thighs in terms of their length when you're usually creating them. That's how an adult looks like. It kind of varies for the child, but I think you've seen enough babies in your life to know that. And by the way, for women, their torsos are shorter than their waists. For men, their torsos are huger than their waists. And both men and women have a V-shaped taper, and for the women, it looks more like an hourglass. And we're just going to start by drawing the menial characters and work our way up to the harder ones. Like I'd say that if I was a freaking pussy. I'm not, so I'm just gonna draw the main character now. Let's design the main character chill out. This is what I want our chill out to be. Kind of reserved and, you know, just like a normal beach girl would look like. No, that's not how beach girls look, right? I don't know, man. I've never like really seen one. So, brother, I'm having kind of like a brain pause right now. Wait. Yeah, I can think now. So I want her character to symbolify sharpness and approachability and all of that other stuff that you'd expect a woman to have. But as I told you, she's 16 years old, and I'm not gonna have her be really tall. Personality traits. Personality traits. Wait, let me redesign the house so that she doesn't have to share a bed with him. I mean, 16 is like literally an adult. I thought about this before, but I thought maybe the space ain't enough. Maybe I can incorporate one more. So that's like a lamp over here. No. We'll have the bed lamp be in the middle, and we'll have two beds over here, a kitchen here, and this place here. And in the hall, they will have their dining table, and they will also have their... No, who puts this stuff in the hall? God damn it. Let's have their stuff be put in this one cupboard, and another beneath the light. And yeah, let's have one bed be shorter than the other, because this is for two people and this is for one person. Everything's gonna be bamboo themed, by the way, if you're into that sort of thing. And we're gonna design her character with reference to some people in the beach. Oh god, I don't want to collect references anymore. Mexico. For some reason, I feel like beach and Mexico have a connection now. Mexico girl, yeah. Nah, wait. I'm noticing a few patterns here. I don't know, man. Is this lace supposed to be a feature? Let us take a look at more data. Like, I'm this hungry little AI that wants to find a pattern that'll help me make girls look like they're from a beach or something like that. I can't find jack shit. Yeah, there are these floral designs. I can see that much. And I think I want my main character to have this sort of a clothing. And we're going to use cat proportions for her, which will make her look anime-esque. But, you know, man, anime-esque isn't bad. Not necessarily bad at all. And by the way, if this part of this video seems like it's taking forever to complete, you're going to see how we go fast with the main story. Because main story is really easy when you're doing zines. It's like you just draw on 1/4 of this A4 sheet and that's all you have to scan. If you're scanning at all. Yeah, man, this character, she bore an uncanny resemblance to one of my cousins, so I didn't want that to be there, and I kind of deleted it out. And now she doesn't look like him, which is a major bonus in my opinion. She looks quite fine, if I do say so myself. The amount of time she was designed in, this is a pretty good character design. Let's add some eyelashes. She's looking down for some reason. we're not really going to draw the nose too much, so I'm just going to draw a little droplet-y thing. This makes it look creepy. She isn't supposed to look creepy. We'll have her face be a little bit more huger for the expressiveness part. And yep, that is mostly the character design completed. Except we have one step left. Oh, stop being perfectionist, stop being perfectionist. Keep telling that to myself, doesn't work. And oh, by the way, have you finished your character design too? Wait, this looks like I've seen this character somewhere. Okay. If I keep thinking this, I'm not gonna finish designing within today, so I'm gonna stop thinking this. This is going to be her face, and I think I know where I saw her last. It was in Hilda, wasn't it? Like, there was this girl with this ovalish face, brown skinned, camera. I don't remember her name. She was like the fourth group member. And I heard what happened about Luke Pearson. I don't really know, man. Hilda used to be my favorite show. Since he's done that something wrong, maybe I won't watch it in the future. She's looking sideways, and let's have her hand be postured in a way where she's holding her face on the side, because I think that will give this picture a good sense of flow. Did it? I don't know. To me, it seems like it did. And yeah, that's mostly it for the character design. She's not gonna be like this cringe OC characters you see on the thing. She's just a simple human being who has a past and a present and a future. Her economic status is reflected in her straw hat and clothes. What else? She's carrying a jute bag because I don't know, she's just researching the place where the palm trees and stuff reside. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. These aren't palm trees, these are coconut trees, what am I saying? She's collecting coconuts. That's a good way to start the story. And since she is mostly an iconic character, we don't have to worry about designing the back too much, because this is not going to be anatomically correct either way, so we don't have to try to make it be correct. All you need is a front and a back sketch, and we're off to a good start. And she has a top hat, and all of that is done. The first character design is done. The mother and the father, I'm only going to design the shrouds, and they're going to have to adjust with it. Fishermen are pretty strong people, bro, as far as I've seen, but they're kind of thin, so we're gonna also have to account for that. And they have a little bit of a belly. We've nearly accounted for all their shortcomings too. Some of them seem to use this slouching posture too much. So let's just have him be slouched the entire time. Oh, he's not gonna. He looks slouched. He isn't slouched. His neck is short. Let's have the mother be the long necked one. And father character. It's crazy how I'm designing this much for a freaking zine. There goes my first R. Right now, we should be in the storyboarding phase, but I have my papers here which I will cut into 4 halves for this zine that I'm about to make. So, this is going to be a pretty bad approximation, but I'm going to try my best to do that anyway. Here's a grid so that I don't mess up. This is 21 centimeters by approximately 30 centimeters. So what I'm going to do right now is get onto this is 29.75. I'd presume 29.8 for easier calculations. How am I gonna divide this? 29.8, 14.9, I think. 14.9. Let's search for 14.9. So 10.5 ought to be this part's center. We're gonna have 10.5 yet again, and no, that's wrong. Yes, this is 10.5 centimeters, my friend. We have started our work on the zine. All we have to do is take a scale. I don't have any steel scale with me, so I have to use a plastic scale. Wait, I need like 2 minutes. I'll be back. I'm back with my fantastical ruler. Yeah, not rural. Yeah. I've put the line down properly, and I'm going to draw perfectly straight line that will cut this properly. Everything here, by the way, is like a approximate approximation. A very approximate approximation, actually. I'm gonna cut this into two halves. Wait, let me bring you closer. Yeah, we are a little bit closer to the paper right now. And I think you can take a look at me cutting this properly. In 3, 2, 1. That appears in a different video. For now, we're gonna put our sole focus into designing the zine. First of all, I forgot to design the Alcatraz. No, I essentially didn't forget it, but I thought maybe after I've mapped out all the panels and after that, maybe we could go to the Alcatraz. But no more shall we deny our responsibilities. Let's go through with it. Let's be done with it. I've drawn so many humans. How hard can an Alcatraz be? Okay, now I will get some references. If I searched for anatomy of an Alcatraz on... Wait, why am I showing you my password? Forget it. I will change this password after this. But for now, let's get into Google. Pinterest. Bro, quick question for you. What part of the design process are you on as of now in this video? Have you finished chopping up your papers? Or did you get yourself some A6 watercolor papers? Where were we? Alcatraz pictures. Pinterest. Pinterest. Alcatraz anatomy. Okay. Alcatraz. Alcatraz. Anatomy. Alcatraz. No, these aren't. Okay, what's the name of the bird again? This looks somewhat like a chicken. Oh, that is chicken. Alcatraz. If it's not Alcatraz, is it Alcatraz? Wait. What is an Alcatraz pronounced as? Nah, I can't seem to find it, so I'm just going to leave it. Albatross. Albatross, maybe that's it. Albatross. Oh yes, let's go. This is exactly what I came here for. If I do say so myself, this exact creature, it looks like it's straight out of a Moebius illustration. Maybe Moebius did draw this, and that's why I think I'm thinking like this. Let me just Mobius. Why am I trying to pronounce it that way? Mobius. That's what it was, wasn't it? I'm just gonna sharpen my pencil, put the shavings, and get back here in 3, 2, 1. Yes, I'm back here, and now we shall take to drawing our clipped wing alcatraz. So let us first break down its shape. If you have any animal breakdowns to do, now sit down and do it with me. That's all. Albatross, do they have feathers? It seems to me that albatrosses, they don't have feathers. Feathers. Albatross feather. Yeah, that is an albatross feather. And it does look like a leaf, as all feathers do. But it's very defined. So we can like just have an outline to, showcase the dynamicness. Nothing else, nothing less. Okay, now this part would be the hard one. If albatrosses have these huge wings, then I'm not even sure if graphene can hold the tensile thingy. Tensile. What? Screw it. I'm not gonna say it. Tensile stress. You know what I did? What? That was ridiculously hard, and it took me an hour to finish drawing the albatross itself. Whoa, that's a lot of time, right? Let's see if I can finish drawing and painting this designs in like 2 hours. If it's not, this video is gonna like go on for like 6 hours, and on the 3rd hour, maybe I'll finish. I finished taking my cold bath in the morning itself, so I won't have to leave you guys for that too. Let me like turn off the light. Let me check the charge on my phone. Okay, my comic is going to be somewhat of an inked comic, so I'm not going to need to color them in, and hence I have decided that I'm not really going to paint out my characters, which I have designed earlier. I'm just gonna have them be close to me as references, and I'm gonna use them that way. Let me just push the camera a little bit up. Okay, and before I draw, I've got something else to tell you. You've got to write out what you're gonna do on what panel, otherwise you're gonna overshoot your limit by a mile. I have done this a lot of times in my previous comic, so I'm not gonna repeat it today. And also, let me turn on the fan. I'm kind of gonna be here for a longer time than I think. Yes, I've turned on the fan, and I don't need to be sweaty for 5 hours, or how many hours it takes. Why am I drawing on this with like the pencil? What am I doing? Let me get that pen out. Okay, panel 1. We want to take this panel and solely introduce everything. Like panels 1 to 2 even. 1 to 2 is set up, and here we're gonna show this. I think we can show this girl dipping her legs into the water, and girl dipping legs in water. Dipping in the sea. In the sea. And a man goes up to the rock. Man goes up to the rock. A rock. A rock islandy place. Islandy place nearby. And takes the eggs. Man goes up to a rock islandy place nearby. And takes the eggs of the albatross. Yes, that's right. Albatross. And then what happens is the following. The girl kinda sees it. Sees it when she takes the cucumbers off her eyes. No, she's not beach. No. But they are in a beach, I mean. Should I have the situation play out that way? No, maybe I shouldn't. So girl's dipping in the sea, just her legs, and she's just sitting there. And a man goes up to a rocky islandy place nearby and takes the eggs of an albatross. The girl sees it nearly, but merely, but ignores it. Ignores it. So this is like the setup for this whole story. And this, after this happens, the girl, what does she do? I'm kind of stuck right now, wait. Oh god, that was quite frustrating. Now we have 12 sheets to work with, and our panels are also ready. Now I'm going to start paneling away. As I told you earlier, you should think of 2 panels at once if you want your story to be any good. So first, let me take 2 pages and sketch them out. I know that we need to take the time to thumbnail everything and all of that. I'm no master at this, but even I know that for the time that we have in our hands, it is most wise to not do that. Okay. Girl dipping in the sea, and a man goes up to a rock island he plays nearby. And okay, let me take the character designs to draw everything accurately. Last time I used the same sketchbook to draw the characters and the comics, so referring stuff was pretty hard. But this time it's gotta be a lot easier. And by the way, let me like lift you up and put you on a pedestal so that you can see better in like 3, 2, 1. As I said earlier, the panels are going to be inked, and before that I'm going to take to checking the character designs. Okay, this is these 2 people, their daughter. I'm just gonna like finish their designs a little bit. Let's have him have like this blobby nose, and let's have his wife have like a straight nose, straight down nose. So the daughter's nose is like somewhat of a blend of the 2. Okay. Okay. Yep. What are those patterns I drew? I know they are floral patterns. I know that much, but what are those patterns? They are quite foreign to my eyes because even though I drew them right now, I haven't seen many floral patterned clothing. No, I haven't noticed many that would be the right word because there are many women who wear it, I think. It's mostly like I have this belief in my mind that if you observe women break their structure down and all of that stuff in your mind, then that's kind of illegal. And I believe that for men too, because if you keep staring at people, they start thinking you're a weirdo, and I know that they have a point. So, do you want to hear a story where this actually happened while you draw your own things? There was a girl in my class. I kept staring at her. I was like, how do I break her face down? And she just waved at me when I was doing that. If you find anything minutely attractive, your brain starts breaking the structure down. Why is this attractive? So that's like the idea behind the things. And let's have her have a few bangs in the front, okay? And now, as for the comics, I told you, right? We're going to have to work with iconography. And I even taught you how to work with iconography, didn't I? And as we said earlier, we're going to have an establisher shot that's quite huge. I suggest something as huge as half the page. And after that, after we've established the scene, we can like meet the character. She's essentially lying down on a rock and she's thinking to herself, and these two panels she's just gonna be talking about enjoying life. And in panel 2 we're gonna show another guy entering the scene, and this other guy, he is going to, let's have this panel be short. Oh, I forgot to teach you layouts. How lame of me. Wait, the whole idea behind layouts is longer panels take longer times to read. So your viewer shifts his attention from panels that require lower attention to those that require higher attention. And that is if you want to make the comic progress linearly. What I have done here is essentially utilize the fact that the viewer reads left to right and then to the next page. And it's like big, big, small, small. So your viewers going to go left to right, second page. You don't have to keep this in mind all the time. Just upload it to your instinct and your instinct will take care of it. Okay? Now we're going to showcase the place where the Alcatraz eggs are laid, and we're just gonna say in a different place as the caption box here. And we're gonna showcase the place with the albatross eggs, and we're also going to do something else. That is, put the man who's going to steal them in his right place. The place where he's gonna steal them. Wait, do albatross lay eggs? Birds do mostly. But You can never say in the animal kingdom. There very well could be a few exceptions. Okay, these things, relative to their size, the albatross laying its eggs are quite tiny. So we are going to have to assume that this albatross that I drew earlier, that is also tiny enough. So we're going to have to modify the design to incorporate that new change now. Let me get these two out of the way. And let's also make sure that the papers that I cut don't get dirty. No, let's have them be the same age. This is not my laziness speaking. I think baby albatrosses, they don't fly up to a certain age based on what I saw of their wing structures. That's what I can assure you with. Let's get back to designing. Oh shit. Yeah. Did my pencil nib break? No, it did not. Good work, buddy, good work. That's me talking to a pencil lid. What the hell? The dock is being drawn. And also, when you're making zines, don't concentrate too much on the detail. It's gonna destroy your pieces. That's why I'm telling this earlier, because it did destroy mine in the first one. There'll be, I kind of, you know how Sakuga animation works, bro? That's exactly what I did with that comic book. At the start of the thing, you're supposed to hook your reader's attention, right? I didn't do that. I started off at an introductory place, and I wanted events to proceed slowly, so I kind of said, you know what, screw the pacing. And that got to me. Most people I actually tried giving that comic book to, I wanted to make an a minimal viable product to check if I'm good enough to make my dream comic yet. Turns out I wasn't. So I'm gonna do all these mini projects from now onwards to someday hopefully get to that point where I'm really good. Okay, that looks like it is a beach. That is all you need. We now know that this setting is the beach. I'm gonna have the girl be sat over here, and let's have an island thrown at a very long distance. No, let's just have it be a rocky place. Why would that be rocks in the middle of the sea? Great question. Now I have to find that out. I'm using 1 point perspective here, but you don't really have to worry too much about perspective. As I told you, zines are just places where we tell our first stories, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And that is the storyboard for the first one. I'm just gonna draw a few rocks here that are poking out. And this is the place where the albatross, they lay their eggs. It's kind of like my job to have you know that she's part of this place, and I kind of made that work with the clothing, but I haven't like stitched it into the scene yet. I haven't shown you that she's from this. I mean, it's only the first panel. It's good to have mysteries. I'm gonna take to having more detail in my characters, and in my last graphic novel, it kind of suffered a lot because of the lack of detail. Like, let me like crop the hair shot for this shot. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, I got this character a new look, and it actually looks damn cool. So I'm just gonna continue with it. I'll modify her design here too. Let's just add two of those, and let's just show her head slowly falling on her feet and her sleeping. Now, as you can see, the paneling is nearly finished. I have to just add in a little more iconography to one of the characters who I said that I designed like a wolf. That I said previously. I don't think he looks like a wolf anymore, but we're going to take that character and change him up a little bit. Like the other two are great, and I think they're actually top tier in terms of my design quality. But this guy, he's been looking pretty sus. He's a male, but he ain't got big pegs. So I just gave him the big peg treatment. This is something like a JoJo pose. I wouldn't say it's even close to Araki Sensei's work. I mean, I did try to make his legs look like those of wolves, but it ended up horrendously. And I'm gonna retry the legs. Yeah, that's a better incorporation. That's really much better. So the problem with incorporating flow into male characters is the following. Male bodies are associated with strength and rigidity. And if you get it wrong, like the right combination of gesture and the wrong combination of flow goes with it, a wrong combination of flow and the right combination of anatomy goes with it, you're kind of screwed. Like people won't even, they'll think of him as a weirdo. So I I do want him to look like a weirdo. There's a reason why I've given him a sailor uniform. Thus far, with the designs, I'm happy. I'd say this one looked pretty cool, and this one kind of looked pretty cool too. So she's like the manager, and this guy is like the guy who goes with in the boat in this into the sea and gets the thingies. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna. I'm planning on leaving this comic with a mystery, so that maybe sometime, if I did get the motivation, I'd be making part two. Okay, so his body doesn't look exactly like that. It looks more like this. So nothing happened. The whole sheets were safe, and nothing else happened. So if you're kind of like tired of my commentary, let's start talking about different topics than just the comic itself. No, that will get you derailed of your progress. Wait, let me like bring my pencil back. By the way, the papers, I told you that they were going to get crushed, right? They were totally fine. Somehow. And that's like the whole power of this type of paper, man. It's very durable. And, yep, that is the captain going towards that place. And this is the captain going towards the other place. I better add a hat to him. His iconography, I don't really know where it went right now. I'm just gonna add a guy with a hat and like hopefully make the audience believe that it is indeed him. So let's say the motor is like here so that the captain can navigate and drive at the same time. And let me like place it here in this shot too. Okay, now both the shots are complete in their fullest form. I'm gonna try my best to use a marker with them. I think you can see this thing clearly. Can you? I think you can. Fudenosuke. Good luck. Bless me, good luck, God. I saw this tip on YouTube. So when you're trying to foreshorten something, they talk about trying to go from front to back instead of back to front, which is the opposite of what I usually did, of course. And that's why it's kind of like useful. Okay, I'll stop commentary. I need my focus. Okay, what I'm going to do is the common technique known as cutting a paper and pasting it on top of something else. And for that, we're going to take something else as a candidate and bring them here and then chop them off and paste them here. I do better to think that this is going to be easy than to think actually that. Okay, let me like just take the measurements that I need. So I've seen a few mangaka do this, that's why I'm confident this will work. First of all, this is like the size of the image that we ought to get. This looks like it's really tiny, right? I think that justifies why I'm making mistakes. When you go in too tiny or too big, it always ends up going nowhere. Is this like the same size? No, this is not the same size. Okay, this is what I was looking at. Yeah, I had to do some shadow aligning and stuff. Is it aligning? Nah, it's not aligning. Okay. Yeah, it is aligning. Going to bring it there. Going to check. Yeah, these two align. So this is possibly going to be a good decision or the worst decision I made for this comic. So this is hard. This is hard, mostly due to the fact that I'm forcing myself to put a lot of detail in. This would have been easy otherwise. And it's also time for lunch break. I'm gonna go and get lunch in a little bit. Before that, I'm just gonna cut and paste it, wait for it to dry while I go and come back. Oh, I'm using the not sharp one. I'm gonna get the better one and we're going to use that. By the way, the first page was healed, like fully. Maybe as we go on and on, the perfection bias dies down inside of me and I stop messing with my own pictures for the the masochist happiness that I get. Oh, this one is way sharper than that other one. I could do it in like 2 cuts with this. For that other one, it required many more, to be frank. You're not gonna see me struggling with the next pages because like I've got my warm-up in. We're just going to paste it here and nobody will know, not even you. Wait a minute, I'll be back. Now I'm going to take to fitting this on top of this. Okay. This is some fine patchwork I've got here. I'll also apply gum over here so that the friction between the two gum surfaces kind of like increases the stickiness, maybe. I don't know. Just think I will. It's not that I'm gonna watercolor it afterwards, so it's best to go with this while I can. And boom. Yes, man. Now I'm going to have to draw this entirely from memory because I stuck the paper over it before I took any photo. It's in the videos, but hey, I can draw without them, so I'm going to try to. This was the flow of this picture. This was like that. Yeah, this is here. This is here. No, no, no. Ah, I remember this again. So the boat was heading towards this place, and the albatross was scared out of its wits when it took a peek and got noticed by that hunter man. So that was the situation, wasn't it? And hence, pages 1 and 2 were completed. Okay, I haven't even finished part of the challenge yet. I have inked 2 pages, but I think there is still some great progress going on right there. I'm going to go on and do more pages. And, well, if you finished your zine already, congratulations for finishing your first zine. Buddy, I kind of don't want to play victim, but I'll make it fast. I've messed up on my oath of celibacy, and today is like the fourth day since I took it. Again, like, I don't know what happened. 8 hours passed, and I was working peacefully, and then my idea barrage stopped, and I went down and slept and came back up. And I was like, Monish, you can always stop. Monish, you can always stop. And the stop never came. And I read something really ridiculous. I don't want the guilt of this. That's why I'm pushing it away to this video. I kind of watched something very messed up. You know what? Shit. I take full responsibility though. I thought, why not, like, instead of, if I'm going to fail anyway, why not fail to a comic book? And I was searching for it, and This is take 2 of the shot, and I'm going to take you doing my guided meditation session. So, this could be your first guided meditation session. I'm gonna give you the link to the one I usually do. It's from the site called Daily Calm, and it's on YouTube, by the way. And that is mostly it. We're going to do a guided meditation session, and you're not going anywhere. You're gonna make that sign with me, and then you're gonna go somewhere. No, you're gonna make that zine after you finish watching this video. So now we're going to take to doing the 10-minute meditation session. You'll see this in a time lapse, so you're going to have to pause and finish your meditation session and then join me back. Okay? Ten 32 a.m. February 17th. Today I finished work on my second zine, and that too, and I some time doing thing. I spent some time with family, and that is